usually I try to avoid superlatives, right? In your case, Mark, it's a bit difficult, right? You are on a first name basis with the presidents of the or with some presidents of the Fortune 500 companies and prime ministers of the G7 nations. I think the emphasis is here on plural, prime ministers, right? The TED Talk from Toronto, last time I checked, almost had 3 million views. And interestingly, there is another TED Talk, there's another upload from the same TED Talk with another 500,000 views, yeah? So quite an achievement here on that alone. Then we have, of course, your YouTube show, The Behavior Panel. And this morning it had exactly 35,092,283 viewers. And this is only since 2020. I think 100 or 200 scientists, they have done research in regards to stereotypical deception cues in 75 countries and 43 languages. And the number one, it's 75% again from all these populations they investigated, considered when you cannot look somebody in the eyes is a deception cue. This is so ingrained in our culture, right? So how do you address this in your engagements with the public? You as a professional,
Well, but I mean, by kind of busting that myth, essentially. Yes, and I remember you sending me the science around that from that particular group, and it is extraordinary that pretty much across the planet, many people are going, if somebody doesn't look you in the eye, they're most likely being deceptive. Well, that is going to be accurate until it isn't.
When you ask people what do you think is the most truthful part of the body, right? Many people say face, eyes. I mean, you and me know it's not the case. From your perspective, what's the truth? What's the most truthful part of the body?
I would. So yes, when people talk about the face is the most truthful, well, how would you ever lie? Like, how would you ever be a barefaced liar? Which all of us have managed to achieve in our lives, because how would we have got on in society if we weren't able to give a very convincing lie? Okay, so understand, your face will leak information as well as it will deliver it.
Once you see body language via the lens of evolutionary psychology, suddenly certain things make sense. And it's so clear that in my mind, I do not understand how it's possible that you can contest such clear evidence, right? So what's your point of view here?
Yeah, well, obviously, I would count myself as an evolutionary behavioral psychologist. So everything that I talk about is from an evolutionary lens. Everything, which for me is this, is that all behaviors are for benefit. Every one of them is about how do I gain a benefit. Now, to other people, they might see my behaviors and they might go, that's really annoying. I don't like that. Well, it wasn't for you. It was for my benefit.
In regards to neocortex, so brainstem, limbic system, neocortex, right? Deception, also the fear triggers come from fight or flight, brainstem, emotions, limbic system, right?
Yeah.
So in a stressful or deceptive context, those are the two brain areas which kind of trigger the behavior that then the neocortex tries to suppress, reason, right? So coming back into my last question for you today, knowing that you have spoken to many business leaders, what's your recommendation? Again, very specific, business context, negotiation. You have the feeling something is not quite right here. And I know I make it very broad and there is no clear-cut answer, but something tangible maybe that you can offer our listeners here to take away in the next negotiation already.
Yeah, ask more questions. Use your neocortex. That's all. Yeah, that your instinct will convince you that you're right, and you're either right or wrong or something in between. Now, if you're right or wrong or something in between, and you're not negotiating over anything with any value, who cares? Like, be wrong, be right, it doesn't matter, it makes no difference, okay? But if you are negotiating over something which has real value, you want to know that you are more likely right than wrong, which means you need to go and gather evidence with your neocortex. You need to use what we call the intelligence system, which means finding data, putting it together in a pattern that says there is meaning there, there's observable meaning in this, there's a reality there.